Hey everybody, it's Todd Dills, your friendly neighborhood Overdrive Radio podcast host, here with this week's installment featuring our first trucker of the month for 2024. That'll be owner-operator Leslie Bitterman, who's remade the independent Bitterman Trucking in her own image since the passing of her business partner and husband, Dale Bitterman. That was back in 2010. Voices you'll hear telling just a small part of Leslie Bitterman's story today are her own, but also that of our news editor, Matt Cole, who's detailed the Bitterman history in more depth than last week's profile of the owner-operator at overdriveonline.com. Owner-operator Bitterman was nominated to contend for the 2024 Trucker of the Year award by her daughter, Ashley, who's long been inspired by the toughness and general no-frills handle on business that the owner puts into action. With the nomination, Ashley noted some of her own involvement in the business today, likewise her diesel mechanic brother, Dale Jr., who takes charge of maintenance. Yet it's Leslie that is, quote, the spirit of Bitterman Trucking, as Ashley put it. Quote, her grit and determination to take care of business makes her a success. She is our hero. Before we dive into her story, I'll say we want you to get involved in this year's Trucker of the Year award program too. Nominate your own owner-operator business or that of another exceptional owner via the quick entry form at overdriveonline.com/toptrucker. All run together like that. overdriveonline.com/toptrucker. Leslie Bitterman wasn't always a truck operator. Her first large vehicle driving experience was in a school bus for special needs children, a history unique among Trucker of the Year contenders of the last year or so. Matt Cole asked Leslie what, if anything, she took from that early experience into her now 3 decades owning and operating trucks.
A lot, because I drive the bigger buses and stuff. It had a lot to do with, the cornering and, now that they're all automatics, it's changed a lot since I drove before. And, I loved the kids. That was the best part of the job, were the little kids. So I really enjoyed that.
Owner-operator Bitterman has overcome quite a lot in recent years, including a near-death experience. Yet, she keeps on trucking. Yet another aspect of her story that led her daughter to the nomination. And all of us here at Overdrive to recognizing her as January Trucker of the Month. Grit? Yeah. Determination? Indeed. As you'll hear after a quick break for a word from Overdrive Radio's sponsor.
In order to keep your diesel vehicle moving this winter, you need to make sure that you have the products you can trust. Howe's Diesel Treat has long been the #1 product on the market to prevent gelling. But what if you forget to treat your fuel and find yourself stuck? Reach for Howe's Diesel Lifeline, the only emergency rescue product available that's 100% alcohol-free, fast-acting, and easy to use. Diesel Lifeline is your security blanket on the road. Visit howesproducts.com.
That's HOWES. howesproducts.com. Here's Leslie Bitterman, detailing her and Dale Bitterman's start in business in the 1990s doing dump work, after Dale's time driving for a local asphalt company.
Well, 94. We got started with a dump truck and a pump, and we did dump truck work for 4 or 5 years, and then we decided to get a truck so we could do some long hauling.
How long did you guys do dump work before you moved into everything else?
5 years. At times we had our own trucks. We would each drive a truck and do, construction that way.
In those early days, as noted, Leslie was running Bitterman Trucking with her husband Dale, integral to the business through the decade and more before his passing in 2010. Early on, too, Dale Bitterman was key to her trucking business owner and operator education.
I learned a lot from him. He would drive a shift and I'd drive a shift. And so he was my main teacher of, getting me out there and getting me going. And then, adding another truck to our fleet. So it's been a great life as far as, being able to sustain myself money-wise.
In the early days, in addition to driving, Leslie handled the back office books and, by the time of Dale's passing, certainly was capable of running the Bitterman Trucking show on her own. Yet, she recalls at the time that
I told him I wasn't sure, if I wanted to keep the company and keep trucking or do something else. And he asked me if I liked my house. And I said, yeah. He said, well, then you need to get your butt in that truck.
Yeah.
So that's, knowing I had to figure it out, that's what I did.
In the near decade and a half since, she's kept on trucking with a foray back behind the wheel of the school bus some time back now. Recently, business has been, as she put it, fairly slow going, and there's a reason for that.
It slowed down a little bit. I got very sick with COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And pneumonia and sepsis. And, to be honest, I died in the ambulance, so they brought me back.
Oh, my goodness.
That tough journey started for Leslie Bitterman in January of 2022.
And so I've just kind of been recouping for the last year while trying to get better. So I was having memory problems there for quite a while, and I got put on oxygen for quite a while, so therefore I couldn't drive, with oxygen. And so I just, kept working every day on my memory and my strength to be able to get back in the truck and haul some loads. I needed to make a living for myself. I remarried and was married for 10 years, and we separated 2 years ago. And so, I had to do what I knew how to do and get in that truck and go trucking to earn some money. And Ashley went with me, which was a great help because of my strength. And she threw all the straps over our load for us, and we tightened it down, and the way we went. So yeah. She's been a blessing in this whole thing. She's been my backer, telling me, Mom, you can do this. Just get back in the truck, get your confidence back. And so that's what I did. And it was great that she went along to help me.
It started out as a family business, and it's kind of come back around to that now.
Yes, and she's wanting to get her CDL also, so we're hoping next year we can get her in a Bitterman Trucking truck and get her hauling.
Her 9-year-old daughter also helps y'all out?
Yes, she went with us over the summer and learning how to scrap and do the trucking thing.
That's so much fun.
Fun indeed for the family affair that has been the last year or so's work of easing back into full-time work, with Leslie Bitterman's 2007 Pete dedicated to harvest work in Washington State, mostly. When Cole talked with her in January, she was down for the winter, she noted, in her native Wenatchee in the central region of the state.
This winter, I'm just going to stay parked because of, we got at least a foot of snow, so I'm just kind of waiting for that to clear up, and then as soon as, the winter goes away, I'm going to get back out there and haul some more fruit and keep the truck rolling.
Is fruit hauling pretty much year-round outside of wintertime?
Yes, it is. You can get loads, going out of state too. That need to go to the market and get sold. So we do that also. We were running Texas. We were taking eggs down and bringing chicken back. So we did that for a year and a half to stay busy. This year we stayed local, so we were able to haul all day, drop our load here in Wenatchee, and go home for the night, which was great. We're connected with a load board, so we can just get on the load board and, get a load that way. So we do a lot of that. When fruit is very good money, so I make enough fruit money to get me through the winter to get me back on the road again, when the snow and winter's all gone.
During harvest, are you set up with direct customers that way?
Yes, we are. I hauled for Northern Fruit.
How'd Leslie come to that customer? Word gets around, essentially.
Word of mouth, you get out there and people know your work. And so I made a couple calls this year and got on with Northern Fruit right here in town. And
was this your first year hauling for them?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
We hauled for Gebber's Farms for the last probably 8 years. They're in Brewster, Washington.
Though 2023 was certainly a slower year than usual for Bitterman as she worked to get back into the groove of hauling after the illness, for the coming year she's got her eye back on freight diversity with some other past and potentially new customers to supplement the work on the fruit harvest when that work is done.
After we get done with harvest, keep on, doing something else, hauling hay and I used to, after my husband died, I used to haul steel, junk cars and stuff over to Seattle from Wenatchee.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that for quite a while after my husband passed, and then I got in there and did fruit. So as long as I can keep the truck rolling, I can survive.
So tell me about your truck. I know it's an 07 379. How long have you had that one?
We bought that in 08. We own a 95 and a 96 long hood Peterbilt with cap motors and a 2007 Kenworth. I sold the Kenworth and we still got the two long hood Petes and then the 07 Pete that I drive.
If Ashley gets her CDL, are you planning on putting her in one of those 90 models?
Yes, I am.
All the trucks are cat-powered, with The 2007 379 that Leslie hauls with principally has about 300,000 miles now on a rebuild performed in 2020 and pushes 425 horsepower. Like the veritable classics in the Bitterman Trucking stable, there's a decidedly no-frills aspect to the operation, with Leslie and her daughter Ashley handling all the bookwork and keeping a close eye on expense, which proved difficult to manage with fuel in recent times, Leslie said. The absolute worst of it, though, coincided with our long 2022 recovery from COVID. For fuel discounts, no frills. Old school, yeah, it applies too.
We just pay cash because it's a little cheaper if you pay cash.
And on the maintenance front, it's a family affair as well for the Bittermans.
My son works for Doug's Diesel here in town. He has for 17 years, so he does a lot of my mechanicing for me. And so that's been a blessing as far as, having to take it to shops and stuff. So he does all of the work for me.
Right.
Every so many miles, he changes the oil for me.
He tracks everything and basically tells you when to come in and get some work done.
Yes, he does. So that's really helped save a big expense.
Spoken like a true small business owner-operator. Here's the best of luck for a safe and profitable year for Overdrive January Trucker of the Month, Leslie Bitterman, independent operating Bitterman Trucking out of Wenatchee, Washington. Read more about the Bitterman family and Leslie's business via Matt Cole's profile at overdriveonline.com/trucker-of-the-year. That's overdriveonline.com, Trucker of the Year. And nominations for owner-operators open throughout the year. Nominate your own business or that of another deserving owner of up to 3 trucks at overdriveonline.com/toptrucker. I'll post those links in the show notes wherever you're listening and in the post that houses this Overdrive Radio edition at overdriveonline.com/overdrive-radio. The podcast is on Spotify and SoundCloud, Apple and Google Podcasts. Tune in, most any podcasting platform. Subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and big thanks for listening. Overdrive Radio is a production of Overdrive, the voice of the American trucker. It's edited and produced by me, Todd Dills, with the acoustic guitar and other support of trucker-songwriter Long Haul Paul Marhofer. The theme is Legend of the Snake Man by Marhofer, featuring the guitar work of Travis, the Snake Man himself, Whammick, Terry Two Socks Richardson on bass, keys by Tishomingo Jim Whitehead, and on drums, Andrew Marshall. The podcast is backed up further by Overdrive's own news editor Matt Cole, executive editor Alex Lockie, and video editors Lawson Rudisell and Andrew Gwynn. Keep proud.